Welcome to the Rip Comics Podcast on the Without Your Head Network. Hey, here we go. Let's just get right into it. It's the first of the minute news. It's actually some pretty big thing. In the comic book world, a lot of us have been kind of wondering when this was going to happen, and I guess the official announcement basically came out, and it's about one of our Stormbreakers, Peach Momoko. And the question has always been, she does these amazing covers and stuff like that, but was she ever going to do the inside artwork of a book? And it seems that it has been announced. Marvel Stormbreaker Peach Momoko presents Demon Days X-Men #1 in March. So this is kind of interesting because I didn't see this coming at all. I have no idea what this is going to be, but she's been known. Peach Momoko is a Japanese artist who busted out on the scene maybe over 6 years ago. She kind of was introduced to the world at one of these Comic Cons, and the world was mesmerized by her artwork. And through that, she slowly started doing more variant covers. She started working with all the different companies, and then before you know it, of course, the big boys want her to do covers for them. So what ends up happening is, we start getting the big covers. You're getting Marvel. I believe she's done maybe DC, a little bit of DC. Image, she's done some DC covers, Image Comics, Boom, Dynamite. I mean, you name it. I mean, Peach Momoko has done a cover in some shape or form. But everybody, was wondering, is she going to cross over? Or is she going to stay, a cover artist? But it seems like Marvel has been working with her to do the interior artwork, and and she's got a very unique style. So they announced, I want to say yesterday, what her project was going to be. And so in the next previews, they're going to be soliciting for March Demon Days X-Men #1. This is what was shared on her website, and I can only assume it is the cover or introduction art. I mean, if this is going to be, it's a very unique approach to comics. Now, if you're in the manga world, and you're probably more used to stuff like this, this kind of stylized book and stuff like this. So this is like bringing that to, we've done this before, but actually to issue an entire American superhero comic book in this fashion. I don't know. I don't know if this sets any precedents. I'm pretty sure that we've seen manga versions of these heroes and stuff like that before, but usually those are for the market in Japan or in that format. As far as my assumption that this is going to be a regular type comic book, regular pages and all that kind of stuff. So uh you know Peach Momoko is doing the story and the art. So what we're even looking for, it's going to be a 5-part prestige series, bringing life, the characters like Wolverine, Psylocke, Venom. So I'm assuming, I guess, we're going to be exploring these characters. It says each issue of the series released once, every 3 months. So this is going to give her time to go ahead and work on her art. She's not a regular artist. She's actually, like painting, these pages, watercolors and stuff like that. So it's a little bit different, but it's something definitely to look forward to. Using her style and stuff like that. Saga will kick off with it looks like Psylocke, and she's being targeted by demons. One of the demons is black and white. Looks very much like Venom, if you want to ask me. But then again, we don't know exactly what kind of demon is that, or where these stories, originate. But we are using these characters that are X-Men characters. It says, I'm trying to find just it's going to be a 23-page story that comes out in March 2019. And here's a little sample of some of the art. What we're seeing here, I guess that is, I don't know, somebody in a suit wearing a mask. Is it a demon? Is it a person mistaken for a demon? And then we have a person, shooting an arrow at that person, and then a showdown, I guess, is going to happen. And that's the thing, in the lore of different things, we assume that they're demons, but maybe they're just characters in suits and costumes and stuff like that. So it should be very interesting. Um, they're coining the word Momoko verse, and from that, I'm assuming we're just gonna get something that's a little bit different. We're seeing some more pictures of the artwork. It's different type of use of panels. It is definitely her artwork. We're seeing the bow and arrow figure leaping over our masked figure, a demon looking type figure, and she's shooting arrows, and they're not, it breaks on the horn of the demon and the demon runs off. um, it we see some other artwork. It's very traditional. It looks like it does take place in the in Asia, maybe Japan, or I'm just assuming, and we're seeing our character walking along, which I'm assuming is a Psylocke. So this could be very, very interesting. And that's what it looks like for Demon Days X-Men. It definitely seems kind of interesting. Every 3 months, I guess, we're going to be getting previews of all this. And so that should be, something interesting to kind of look up. Hey, but you know what? We're finally getting something from Peach Momoko. And that's what we've all been waiting for. We wanted to see what, was coming down the track. Usually, even if it is a temporary kind of thing, Marvel has a way of working with the artists and eventually getting something so they can try, even if it's a couple of issues. She's getting at least that experience of working in a book. Another big piece of news that came out, and it's actually we've had covers from Kevin Eastman before, but you know what? In a groundbreaking issue such as the Last Ronin #1, uh, we're getting another a display, another cover. We've had Kevin Eastman incentive covers that were related to this, and as of this time and date for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin #1 from IDW Publishing, we have seen, and this is a list that I'm scrolling down right now, we have seen 77, well, actually 76 covers, or 75 covers, and third, the third printing cover will be a Kevin Eastman cover. I don't know if that's the last cover. I don't know if we're going to have a fourth printing or a fifth printing or whatever, but they went ahead and made a special cover of The Last Ronin. It's going to be a third printing cover. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they've said that this cover will be available January 27th at your comic store. Now, I don't know if you got to put your order in now or whatever, or the order's got to be in by the 27th. I have no idea. But, you know, that's what we end up doing. It's a Kevin Eastman cover, special Teenage Mutant Ninja cover, Last Ronin, cover number 75. Hey, you know what? That's if you missed 1, 2, 3, 50, 60, hey, 75 could be your lucky chance to getting a Last Ronin finally. And you know what? It's a pretty cool cover. And you know what? I don't even know how many printings they'll have. The second printing available was like 50,000 copies. So who knows how many of these copies will be available. But you know what? Hey, it's great to always see Kevin Eastman putting his style into the Turtles, because that's where it all started. It's great stuff. Last Ronin, third printing will be available uh, before you know it. So call your comic book shop, get it ordered, get it ready. It's in January. Don't want to miss it. So another piece of news, and this was a book. It was announced about 2 weeks ago. Now, the problem with the book that we're gonna talk about here, and let me see if I could get it up here for you guys. But the thing is that this one kind of, it was one of these sneaky kind of books. It was announced. They told people, hey guys, guess what? There's a book that's going to come out. You'll see it on your rundowns. Be prepared. They gave everybody a heads up how it was going to be distributed, when it was going to be distributed. They gave the date. They said contact your local stores, but nobody knew exactly, what they were going to have, on hand. And that's usually, it's kind of the way that some of this stuff is done. I'm trying to get you guys for you guys that are looking on the on the Facebook Live. I'm trying to get you guys a decent image of this book. Yeah, I think I found one, and that way you guys can see what we're talking about here. All right. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that way you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, it came out on the 16th. I knew it was coming out on the 16th. A lot of us knew it was coming out on the 16th, but what the quantities were, we didn't exactly know. You had to be in touch with your comic book store. Your local comic book store was going to receive their diamond invoice, and on that invoice, it was going to offer a couple of these books. If you have a small store, guess what? You might not even have received one of these copies. If you were a moderately sized store, you could have received anywhere between maybe 2-3 issues. Some stores actually got a little bit more than 5 or 10, and I'm assuming those are in bigger markets and stuff like that. But the point being, it was a book no one had ever heard of. The only names that were being attached to this thing were Robert Kirkman, and of course, when you see the cover, it's Ryan Ottley. That combination alone, you have to wonder what exactly is all this about. So they announced the title, Solid Blood, number 17. Number 17 means that they must have had other issues prior. Or how about this? Or does December, which is December on there, 17th, referring to the date that the comic book stores were getting this issue, and it did not even reflect the episode or issue number. So that could be the misconception. A lot of people think, well, it's the 17th comic in the series. Or what if it's December 17th, which was the date that it was in the hands of at the comic book stores? Because December 16th would have been comic book day. So this is the day after. You know what I'm saying? Is it? Could it be? I don't know. Nobody knows. But you know what? This book came out. Solid Blood, Robert Kirkman, Ryan Ottley. Robert Kirkman, what does he do? Walking Dead. He does a Oblivion Song. He does, you name it. There's a whole handful of books that was it Invincible? I think something like that. I mean, he does a lot of amazing stuff. He's got a lot of great things, and he's doing things with Image. And so what is this book? Well, what's going on? Well, let's take it a little bit farther. There is okay, if you don't want spoilers right now, just turn away, go take off, whatever. But we're gonna dive into this real quick, because I think it's interesting to kind of explore what exactly is going on in this book. And we'll just kind of briefly go through what some of this was, because guess what? I don't have the book. You don't have the book. A lot of people don't have the book, but you know what? It is something that way, eventually we're all going to see the book in some shape or form. Maybe it'll be reissued or whatever. I don't know. But the inside of the book basically has this young character. We're introduced right away. This character has feelings, has like premonitions or whatever the case may be. And when something is bad going to happen, they get, the spider sense is, they know. I kept thinking in terms of like Stranger Things, and so we end up seeing her interaction. She got the blood on the nose. It's something's going on. She doesn't know exactly what it is, and there's something strange happening. And then the next thing we see is the necro monger. There's a scene of a necromonger. Basically, all these zombies are all over the place. So immediately when you start thinking of zombies, you start thinking Robert Kirkman, you start thinking of Walking Dead. Okay, what is all this? Who's the necromonger? Necromonger, is that when I see it right there, it looks like some kind of an amazing looking DC slash crazy Spawn, with all the chains and all this kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't know what this is, but it looks pretty amazing. It looks pretty cool. And so this person is saying that now your ally is dead. He's announcing to all these zombie land and all these other people that their ally is dead. And this was the bladesmith. And without her blade, okay, well, who the hell are they talking about? Well, if you guys are familiar with a lot of Walking Dead, well, guess what? It says there's the blade, and unfortunately, she's dead. That pretty much looks like a certain so and so from Walking Dead. So what is this? What does all this mean? So we're gonna just go ahead and go forward in the book. We start seeing some crazy things start happening in the book. People throwing up, like looks like aliens or something like that. There's bizarre stuff happening in this book. Then we see those crazy blood creatures, and the girl seems to have some kind of control. But then we end up seeing that the person that she's been hanging out with is actually being captive somewhere else, and that person that she's actually been hanging out with is not who she thinks he is, and she's now beginning to wonder if she truly is controlling what's happening. Then we get it to be continued. Okay, and you think, well, the book's over. Well, no, the book isn't over. What ends up happening is inside the book, like most comic books, we have a letters to the editor, you have all this kind of stuff, and then this is where the bizarre stuff starts to happen, because they are letters that are going specifically to Robert Kirkman. And I'm just gonna go ahead and read it. This is coming from comicsheatingup.net. Great site if you want to get spoilers and you want to see what hot issues are about to be released, and you want to get an inside tip on all this kind of stuff. Go to this website. Check them out every day. There's always something cool. You want to know what's hot. You want to know some of the stuff that the books that you might want to collect, because they're going to attract a lot of attention and stuff like that, or they're going to be hard to get. They let you know. But so basically what ends up happening, I'm going to read it right here. So that's basically the comic book, right? However, you jump into the letters page, which is usually in the back of a comic book. And then we see this thing from Kirkman. And then he's talking about something called Dead Planet. It was a failed book that he was trying to launch at Image that would have had Michonne in it. And The Walking Dead, a book he did launch, and then he states that only lasted 15 issues and he never got to introduce her. All right. If everybody knows anything about The Walking Dead, that thing went a hell of a lot longer than 15 issues. But what is going on here? This is a letter that he actually put in here in early 2013, and we're reading the excerpt. And then he says that Walking Dead, that he would have introduced his character, and it didn't happen. So what are we're doing some kind of weird bizarro world here in comic book land. It goes on a little bit further. You end up hearing stuff where he's talking about something very similar to the Mandela effect, but they're calling it the Castro effect. And then they're kind of describing how you think you saw something, but you remembered it different and all that. So basically, maybe with these clues, he's kind of giving us a snapshot of, well, let's take this comic book universes that we've created, and what if we did our own what ifs? We did our own alternate universes. We did what if that didn't happen kind of scenarios, but for what purpose? I don't know. But it is interesting to kind of play around with that. And I think when you have books like, and they kind of hint about it in here. Now I'll give credit to the because I couldn't make sense of it at first, but then it says here, what if all this is just a big crossover tie-in? Now, crossover is Donny Cates' uh, comic book universe turned on its head, and it's basically this city that is wrapped in a bubble, a dome, so to speak, to trap all the superheroes in. But that's one way to look at it. Or the superheroes are keeping the people out. But all the superheroes are in here. They are like escaped from the comic books, and all kind of chaos is happening. Superheroes, comic books, stores, and all that are now targets from the public, and people want to destroy these things. All our loved heroes and stuff like that are now targets in this world. Could this comic book be something from that? Are we getting something that is going to be truly unique, where you're going to start seeing certain books pop out from all these image artists or friends of image art, these artists like Donny Cates and Todd McFarlane and all that? Maybe the whole company's in on it, and we're going to have this big fun thing that's about to happen, where we're going to see these alternate books, alternate universe books that start popping up, but they correlate with the crossover phenomenon that's happening in that book. That book is really cool book. If you ever get a chance, check it out. I'm pretty sure you can find a number one issue at your comic book shop. If not, I don't know, find one, go on eBay, buy one. I don't know. There's a lot of copies of out there. There's some specialty covers also available that were specially made for certain comic book companies, and you can go get a special cover and all that. Issue 2 just came out. Issue 3 is going to blow your socks off because there's Spawn on the cover. If Spawn's on the cover, I'm assuming he's inside the book. And now we're going to start getting these characters start appearing in the book. It's an ongoing series. It's not a mini series. It's not going to end in 4 or 5 issues. This is something that they're going to kind of slowly build upon. Now, if Robert Kirkman is getting into the fun of things, and he's going to do some stuff like that too, I just think this is exciting. This is an exciting way to approach comics. I think, you can have the same kind of thing over and over. The hero is going to live, and this, that, and the other, and then everything gets right in the world. I think we had that problem with this past X-Men universe, that they had. They had this event. Call it whatever you want. To me, looking back on it, it almost seems like it was a waste of time. There were maybe a handful of books. 22 books came out, and maybe a handful, maybe 5 books that really, dove into the lore of X-Men and were really something. We were hyped up that we were going to see the launching of an arch nemesis type of character, and I don't know. Did it work? I don't know. I don't think it did. I think it, we got a couple of good reads and stuff like that. It kind of sputtered out a little bit, but did everything went right. Everything came back to normal. We did lose a character, but they were kind of like, I guess it's your perspective. If that was your favorite book, well, then you lost your favorite character. But other than that, I really didn't think we lost a whole character. I mean, I think if you lose somebody like Jean Grey, oh, wait a minute, that did happen before, and they came back. So nobody's really dead in this comic book world. But anyway, so why not kill a character off in an entirely different book that you create, an alternate universe, so to speak, an alternate reality? That's what it is. Because, I mean, this character did live on for all these things, but then all of a sudden you got a comic book that pops up, and they're pretending or acting like it's a world where that book never even became as popular as it did. So I like that. I like what he did with that. But that's Solid Blood number 17. This book is hard to get. A lot of people didn't get a copy of this. You can go on eBay. You can probably find copies. You are going to pay what would be a premium. The fact that you have Michonne getting killed in this. Nobody knows where this book is going to end up. this could be, you know, something that rears its head a couple of somewhere in 2021. We might see an announcement. Maybe this is something different, or it is a one-shot deal that is part of something bigger. We don't know, but hey, got a chance. Solid Blood 17. Maybe your store has a copy lying around and nobody knew about it, but I don't think so. But anyway, that was first minute news. There's some other news. There was another one that had to do with the MCU, and the MCU actually, it was an announcement that Christian Bale was going to be Gorr. That is the God Butcher. So the dominoes are being. This is just a quick blurb. I'm going to just go ahead and mention. This opens up that kind of Pandora's box, because if we start putting that into the Thor comic, there's several things that are in rotation there that ends up happening. You have the Infinity Gauntlet, that was the whole other 20 some odd movies that the MCU made. So now we're going to go ahead and start all over again. And where do we start? Well, if you start by putting a character of this nature, you need to understand what kind of weapons that character has. And one of them being is the Necro sword. Are they going to have him with that sword? If that happens, then you must quickly look at Knull. That Knull could be a character that ends up playing out, and then they start going down that path. Because the minute you start bringing in a character like that, the Knull is coming into the MCU movie universe starts to happen. And what happens? That ripple effect starts to take place. King in Black is happening right now. So a lot of hype is going on with that. And then you've got this announcement for comic book collectors and people that are buying these books, and they're collecting them for whatever purposes for themselves, or they want to eventually sell them. All of a sudden the dollar signs start to pop up. These books are already going for a pretty good sum of money. What ends up happening is that these books are going to probably double or even triple their amounts, because it will actually become something in the movie universe. And that's what a lot of people speculate. Is it going to be a TV thing? Is it going to be on Disney Plus? Is it going to be an actual motion picture? Hey, guess what? They just announced it. So be prepared. It's about to happen. So Christian Bale is a badass actor. I can't wait to see him in the MCU playing that character. And I can only imagine if they're picking him to be Gorr, maybe something that Donny Cates actually, I think Donny Cates said this. They actually said, who do you picture being Knull? And the words that he said was Daniel Day-Lewis. Maybe that is something that's going to happen. Maybe Daniel Day-Lewis could be that character. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, we've had all kinds of, Oscar-winning actors appear as these characters. So, hey, you never know. Maybe Daniel Day-Lewis as Knull is not in the not too distant future. So we'll wait and we'll find out. Anyway, Mando, got some Mando news. Just some quick reflections on season 2. The season's over. We were announced earlier in the year that there would be a season 3. Is the season 3, though, really going to happen? Or was that a placeholder for the book of Boba Fett? Now, that's not a spoiler, because if you go online, it's all over the internet. Boba Fett, he's going to have his own show, December 2021. It's a classic setup. Now, where they go with that, are we going to go back to when he's in the Sarlacc pit and escapes? Are we going to come revisit that? Or are we going to start off where he basically unseats the gangsters on Tatooine, and now people have to deal with him? Because it was a classic. Go watch episode 16 of The Mandalorian and skip that whole episode. Nobody cares about that episode. Go all the way past the credits and then watch that last scene in the Mandalorian. I'm kidding. That episode is probably by far, it's something that had been building up. I'm not gonna, it's out there. It's out there. Go watch it. It's out there. in 5 minutes, everybody's going to, to me, the spoiler things, you know what it is? If you didn't watch it when you were supposed to watch it, I don't know what to tell you. You need to watch it when it comes out. I mean, if you don't have the channel, find somebody with the channel. I mean, that's what it's about. You want us to stay quiet, dude. We've been locked up in our homes, and we were eagerly waiting for something explosive to happen. I mean, if we're gonna walk eggshells around, and everybody's in their house, you should have already had a subscription to Disney Plus. You should have already been watching season 1 and season 2 and catching up with everything, and so that way it doesn't feel like a spoiler. We all knew somebody was coming, and it showed up in a major way. We even speculated. You know what? Go listen to to our last two podcasts. We actually speculated who it was going to be, and you know what? We even said it was going to be that person, and that person came out in $1,000,000, and it was amazing. And you know what? For this podcast, I won't mention it, but I'm just going to tell you that looking back at season 2 compared to season 1, I've heard some people say that, you know what, I like season 1 better than season 2. Well, you must have not been born when the first 3 movies came out, because that is why this season 2 is not resonating strongly with you. This season 2 was carefully crafted and put together to bring us all together, because what we saw were Clone Wars characters. We saw I don't even know I don't even know if Rebel stuff probably wasn't put in there, because that happens later, but maybe some seeds of that were put in here. But then you got original trilogy stuff that just fucking blew my mind. It's already not a spoiler by now, but when Slave One appeared, I want to say maybe 3 episodes before the season finale. I think it was episode 14 or 15 or whatever it was. No, 13. I think it was 13 or 14, whatever. And the minute that Slave One ship, and you can hear it, and you just see it going across the sky, and Mando looks up and he sees it going across the sky, the chills went all up and down my spine. And it was incredible to finally see that ship, and out came Boba Fett. I mean, obviously he wasn't Boba Fett until you actually put on the helmet, and then you start hearing him, and then he becomes Boba Fett, and then then it was all on. Um, it was he has his own theme song. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of when Wonder Woman first came out in Batman and Superman. And she had that real goofy theme song, but it was badass, and she was amazing. And then when her movie came out, it just blew the socks off of everybody. It was carefully crafted. The song, he has his own theme, man. He had his own theme song the minute he appeared on the screen, which was so amazing. And there you go. There's Boba Fett. And then you hear that theme at the end of the Mandalorian season finale in that little shot of basically setting the stage for the book of Boba Fett. Now, back to what I was saying initially. When they announced that they were going to do a season 3 of The Mandalorian, they said that it would start filming in October, and that it would be premiering December 2021. But guess what was announced that was beginning December 2021? The Book of Boba Fett. So it's unfortunate, and I think we're going to get that announcement next week, because next week they're doing a Christmas behind the scenes and all that kind of stuff. I'm pretty certain we're going to be told that we've just seen the 2-season arc of The Mandalorian, and if we do see The Mandalorian appear again, we are going to see him pop up in all these other shows. We got Ahsoka coming out. We got Kenobi. We have, the Book of Boba Fett, and, stuff like that. So I think we got to see the Mandalorian grow as a character from a person that was, doing his jobs for the money, the highest amount. When he got the kid, it was just a price tag, and then we got to see him get involved with that character and grow. We got to see that arc of that character where it changed everything about him. He was doing things that he would never do. He took oaths that he would always stand up and live by. But then episode after episode and sacrifice after sacrifice to try to get back this little guy who meant the world to him in a way that we probably will never really know. But that there's a scene in the last episode that it tells it all. It was a great 2 seasons of the Mandalorian. It's a great arc of a character. It is a character definitely I hope that we see later down the line. Maybe the show will be called Grogu. Who knows? I don't know, but it would be great to see the Mandalorian meet up with Grogu again somewhere down the line, somewhere else. But I don't think we're going to have a season 3 of the Mandalorian. I think that was it. I think it was a placeholder so that they could announce Boba Fett quietly. Everybody knew Boba Fett was going to have a show, but they didn't officially announce it till just this week. So there you go. Don't hold your breath, guys. I don't think Mandalorian season 3 is gonna come out anytime soon. I think he holds the sword of the keys or the throne or whatever you want to call it. And so we're kind of done with that story, and we're off to more Star Wars tales and adventures from various other characters and stuff like that. But hey, it was great. I think it was awesome. But if you have any ideas, shoot me emails, shoot me texts. Let me know. Let me know if you think something else is at play here with the Mandalorian and stuff like that. Let's just briefly talk about some comics. I wasn't really too overly excited with a lot of the comic books that came out this week. There were like 5 books that came out, and I think out of all of them, I was reading some of those books and stuff like that. But the biggest surprise actually came with the Wolverine Black, White, and Blood number 2. The book was out, and then you start to go through the books, and guess what? They have mask and without mask Wolverine. So you end up with a secret variant cover. That seems to be the catchword all of a sudden, secret variant covers. Little modifications to the cover that make them just a little bit different, but those end up becoming probably more collectible than just regular cover B's and A's and C's. It's a little thing. I mean, they did it with crossover, little switcheroo on the cover. Then they did it with King in Black. This is the Donny Cates MO. Then they did that little modification, and then everybody gravitated and wanted to find it was the thing or the Incredible Hulk. That was the little switcheroo on that. And then in this one, it's Wolverine, looking all kick ass and stuff, but he has this Wolverine mask. And then there's another cover where he doesn't have that mask. Quickly, those books jumped out on the internet. They were going from anywhere from like $15 to $35. Who knows what the book count is on that? However many issues it was, and then you get a special variant cover and stuff like that. Maybe that's the new thing that we're going to start seeing this pop up on various books because maybe it's already been happening. We just haven't been paying attention. I know you see logo changes in colors and this, that, and the other little modifications of the cover. Maybe this has been happening on other books that we haven't even been paying attention to. This is a mainstream book, Wolverine. The Donny Cates, that's a mainstream guy. So everybody's like scrutinizing his covers. Maybe this has already been happening on other covers, but because maybe all of us don't collect some of them books, we're not realizing this. So got to keep a closer eye out on that kind of stuff. But Wolverine, Black, White, and Blood, number 2, was one of the higher books. There was another book that was called Reckless from Brubaker, and it's it's a hardcover book. It's I guess it's the first volume or part of the story. I mean, it's not a regular book. I mean, you're paying some premium price on this thing, but you know what? You're gonna get meaty story. You're gonna get amazing artwork, and you're gonna dive into a world that you're gonna get all slimy, and you're gonna it's gonna feel good. It's a real good read. You want to pick up that book. It's maybe most comic book stores will have maybe one copy, and if they don't have a copy, I know for a fact that they can get that ordered for you. It's called Reckless from Image Comics. Go out and get that. That was one of the top picks for the past week. There were some couple of other books from Scout Comics and stuff like that, but I don't want to get too much into that because I want to kind of do a quick overview of next week. Next week we're getting close to Christmas. It's this comes out two days before Christmas, but let's take a quick gander at what some of the stuff that is going to be available. You know that maybe Santa will come bring you some of these books. If not, you can be Santa and you can bring these books to yourself. But Department of Truth #4 comes out. So you've been reading that. Really cool read. You might want to pick up on that one. Gideon Falls, always a classic tale. You might want to take a look at that one. There's 2 covers available on that. Ice Cream Man. Ice Cream Man is back with an incredible cover. Let's take a quick look at this cover. It is Marazzo, and it looks like an advent calendar. And on top of that, in Hollywood news, Universal Content Productions is developing Ice Cream Man adaptation into a short form streaming platform on Quibi. Now, I know that they're targeting, according to this, they're targeting a 2021 release date. So if you're familiar with the Ice Cream Man and its format, this would kind of fit perfectly into what QB has been offering and stuff like that. So another amazing cover. It's an advent calendar cover just in time for the holiday season, but of course with its weird twist that the Ice Cream Man that what they like to do with their covers and stuff like that. So definitely Ice Cream Man. Uh, it's I guess is number 22 with its advent calendar look that should be available at your comic book stores on the 23rd. So that definitely would be one. Philadelphia has been terrorizing everybody. It's issue number 11. So you want to go get that. You want to get scared just for the holidays. You want to go get that one. Kirkman with Oblivion Sun. We got number 29 that's about to come out. Redneck for you guys that follow Donny Cates and everything that he does. This is what he does for Image. It is Redneck number 29. Scumbag has been a awesome book. I've eagerly waiting issue 3, and issue 3 is going to be coming out. So if you've been reading Scumbag, you definitely want to get this one. This is Reminder. Rick Remender doing the writing, but he always has these classic covers, these throwback covers that are reminiscent of, you name it. I mean, he does these, the throwbacks. It almost like heavy metal. That's what the covers remind me of. Also, another heavy hitter just in time for the holidays is Spawn. We have Todd McFarlane. He has a Greg Capullo cover, and that's Plague. They're introducing another character. I don't know if he comes out in this issue, but it's Spawn 313. It's cover C. And Greg Capullo. Anytime Greg Capullo and Todd McFarlane get together, it's always an amazing time. And that one looks like another classic cover. Definitely 313 cover C, Capullo. But you cannot not get this one from Barron's. Bjorn Burdens. It is cover A of Spawn 313, and it is our favorite Santa Violator, and he is about to cause havoc in somebody's house. So it's a very festive, horrific cover from Todd McFarlane. 313 cover A. You definitely want to go get your hands on that one. So there's actually a lot of cool grabs this week. Last 2 weeks have been kind of a little slow, but that's just Image, man. We haven't even gone to anything else. Let's take a quick look. Oh, another in the series. My wife has several actually. There's several books in here that I know that she likes. One of them is the Comic Book History of Animation #2. She highly recommended #1 last time, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be another one that she recommends. Goosebumps also has another issue. It's the 4th of 5, so we're getting close to the finale right there, and that one is coming up. Another book that there's actually 2 books that I completely fell in love with here. Scarent #1, it's a second print, but the 3rd issue of this series is about to hit. So guess what? Classic second printing cover. It's a refrigerator with the letters from the magnets, the letter magnets and stuff like that. I love it, but you know what? The letters are put in the form of a Ouija board, and you know, what a awesome way to have your magnetic letters and numbers put in there. So definitely another awesome cover pickup, very much like Ice Cream Man. Scarent Hood #1, second print, definitely a type of cover that it's definitely a very seasonal kind of thing. Not. But then again, Sea of Sorrows #2. Sea of Sorrows #1 was awesome. It was scary. It was drawn very well. The story just pulled you in, and so get Sorrows #2. Sea of Sorrows #2. You definitely want to pick that. I love. I've seen pictures of what these covers are going to look like. They posted these from IDW Publishing. Sea of Sorrows. You get just go tell your comic book store you want the whole run. It's a limited series. Carlos Medina, one of our other readers, has been following this series, and we actually come to the conclusion of Sonic the Hedgehog Bad Guys. It's Bad Guys #4 from IDW Publishing. You definitely want to pick up that one if you are a Sonic the Hedgehog. You know what? If you're not a Sonic the Hedgehog and you want to get into Sonic the Hedgehog, why not jump into the Bad Guys? Learn everything it is about the bad guys, because you know what? I guarantee these guys are going to go all together as a team and go cause havoc. So there it is. You've been told. All right. So then now we're at Marvel. Of course, Marvel is getting set up on Amazing Spider-Man. It's #54. We've been seeing this book come out weekly. We're at 54.LR. And it's all the kindred. We're in getting to the nitty gritty of all this stuff. And it's going to be a showdown at issue #55. So this is leading up to that. If there are going to be any sneakeronies, they're going to happen in this issue. That's what usually happens. Right before a big explosive issue happens, they go all the way back to the issue right before. So you definitely want to pick up that one. Just quickly taking a look, King in Black 2. All right. I've been following along King in Black #1. Then we got Venom #31, and I'm eagerly waiting to see what's going to happen. They got several amazing covers. We have the regular cover. Then we had the tattoo variation. Then you got the black and white connecting cover. I don't know if this is a actual black and white or it's going to be a full-blown cover, but what it is, it's a connecting cover with all of the 5 issues, and they're going to connect. That's another one. And then of course there's a spoiler cover that we don't know what the hell's on that cover, but if it's like the series and what we've been reading so far, that cover right there is just going to be just as hot. Another thing, we're talking about hot issues. Maestro's been a real surprise. This is the conclusion. This is #5. This is a 5-issue arc, and we're finally at that conclusion of Maestro. If you haven't picked up this series, I don't know what the hell you've been doing. I guess you're gonna have to wait for the trade paperback when it comes out, maybe in about a month or two. But there it is, Maestro #5. You definitely want to pick that up. Speaking of books that have been collected, Marvel Cosmic Universe, and that's by Cates. It's the omnibus hardcover volume 1, and you know, what the hell? Let's dive into it. I'm already looking at the one with the Black Silver Surfer, and that one looks amazing. What do you get in this? What is inside this? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you what's inside this. You're going to get Thanos issues number 13 through 18. You're going to get Death of the Inhumans 1 through 5. You're going to get Cosmic Ghost Rider 1 through 5. You're going to get Silver Surfer in Black 1 through 5. And then you're going to get material that was from the Thanos Annual number 1 and Thanos Legacy. So there you go. Your cornerstone of the Marvel Cosmic Universe. Remember what we've talked about. Where is all this leading? The movies, where are they going? They're going cosmic. We're talking Thor. We're talking the God Butcher. And not far behind is Knull. I just know it. I just know it. So get ready, guys. You want it, you know, that's a good book right there. It's a steep price, but you know what? What the hell? Hey, look at that. Peach Momoko back. We got Spider-Woman number 7, Peach Momoko nullified cover. So now there you go. You got nullified. It's part of the King in Black variation covers that are happening. And why not? You got Peach Momoko doing her interpretation of nullified, Spider-Woman. Cover looks amazing. That was a replacement cover for another artist. The minute she became a Stormbreaker, guess what? Out of my way. I'm taking over some covers. So there it is. Boom Studios. Boom. Continues with the Dune House. We got Dune books. Dune. It's issues 2 second print, and then you got issues 3. And we got Firefly, you got Labyrinth. Okay, that's another one. My wife is very much into Labyrinth. This is book number 1. She loves to start the collection. She loves to read from the start, and there it is. Labyrinth Masquerade number 1, cover A and cover B. You know what? She'd probably like both covers. One features, the David Bowie-esque character, and then of course you got the Jennifer Connelly looking character on the other cover. So you get the best of both worlds right there. You know, what else can you ask for? This is a hardcover book, but it's called Claus: The Life and Times of Santa Claus. And I'm a sucker for books like that. I love when they go back into the lore of how something what came about. Hey, why not Santa Claus? That sounds just as badass. So there you go. We're going to take a quick gander, because what's going to happen is that these are a lot more beefy, and we're running out of time. So A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night number 2 is coming out, and that is from Behemoth Comics. There's going to be 2 covers available. One is a Walter cover, and one is the Deweese cover, and Deweese, I believe. And they both look amazing. If you've already gotten issue number 1, that thing sold out. Issue number 2, guess what? It's going to sell out just as fast. So you got to jump on it now. It's a Saturday. Call your local comic book shop and get that thing reserved, or else you're not going to get it. I promise you. You're going to have to wait for a second print or the trade paperback, which comes out in another 2 months. Let's take a look. We're zooming because we're running out of time. Black of Heart number 2. You definitely want to take a look at that one. That's from Source Point Press. Castronauts, Catstronauts. Yeah, definitely. Volume number 6 from Little Brown Book for younger readers. I just like that because it's I like the title. Edgar Allan Poe's Snifter of Blood number 3. We talked about it before. That's something that we're just trying to keep you posted on. Another issue is finally out, so you definitely want to grab a hold of that one. This is another book that also releases a lot of covers when it's released. It's called God is Dead number 1. You have a crap load of covers. Man, look at that. It's like 4, 5, 6 rows, 7 rows, 8 rows of books. Hey, guess what? Get them all if you want. They're all $5.99. That's your Christmas present to yourself. Go get all those ones. Actually, this is another one. It's a one-shot issue. I'm going to actually click the button so everybody gets to see exactly what it is. It's called Gut Ghost Stabbity Bunny One Shot. And it's from Scout Comics. What's a lovable bunny and a ghost with his guts hanging out? You can't beat that, from Enzo Garza. Yes. Go get this one. Go to Scouts Comics right now and buy it. Don't even wait to get it at your store. Go order it online right now. Go to Scouts Comics and get a copy. It's a one shot. Don't want to miss it. You can get the digital version, I'm pretty sure, and the regular version. Definitely really cool stuff. You know what? We'll remember next time. Picture of Everything Else, #1. That is something that has 3 amazing covers. I think everybody's should pick up on that one. And then the incentive covers are pictured here as well. And that is from Vault Comics. I'll repeat it again. Pictures of Everything Else, #1 from Vault Comics. Pick up all 3 covers. That you can't go wrong with any of the covers, and you have a chance, get them all. They're all amazing. I love them. Vault Comics is doing some badass stuff, just like Behemoth and Scout and Vault. There you go. I said it. That's a mouthful. I know that there was something else. There was one more thing, and I can't. It's not popping up. Exo Manowar. If you like Valiant, Exo Manowar is back. He's been back. I think last month they started bringing his books back. He took a hiatus because of the pandemic, and now they're starting to get his book going again. And so it's always great to see when a comic book comes back into circulation, especially if it's been out, delayed or whatever for the, pandemic and whatnot. But you know what? It is available now. But hey, there you go. That's it for Rip Comics Podcast. I want to thank you for joining. And until next time, guess what? We're going to zoom through the comics. We're going to rip through them, and we're going to have fun. So I want to thank you again for joining us, and I'll talk to you next time.
Merry Christmas, movie house!